Welcome to our LIGNA.Stage. So we are now listening to a lecture from Mikael Lagerbom about maximizing the resource efficiency of wood from forest to final board. So enjoy, and if you need a translation, you can use our headsets at the corner, and feel free to ask questions online with the Q&R code. Enjoy.
The clicker. Forward. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to talk a little bit about a topic that I'm really keen about. How we should use the resources that the nature is giving us. We have, of course, millions of different ways to do that, but a couple of them is to use or produce products that have longer life cycles. For instance, moving volume to building instead of pallets and concrete forms. The other one is to actually make money. To make money within the timber industry gives us the possibility to invest in research, in improving day by day going forward. And of course, if we do that in the sawmill industry, we will also be able to do it in the forestry. We have seen a fantastic development in the forestry during the last 50, 60 years, and hopefully we can continue to do that. I have a long history within the wood building industry. This is 43 years ago. I helping to build the house that I grew up in with my father and grandfather. All around the world, people are building with wood. We are really keen to do that, and it's a natural material, and I think it's one of those materials that we need to push for the future in order to build a sustainable society. After that, I've done some education, and before I joined MiCROTEC, I worked at SA, at the Sawmill up in Munksund, far up north in Sweden, as a business manager. I work now as a sawmill business analyst, traveling the world, trying to help and trying to develop customers with the help of MiCROTEC's equipment. To get this started, I would like to walk you through a video that shows what we think is really, really new technology that can help us to earn money within the sawmill industry. When the logs are coming through the sawmill, we can scan them with our CT equipment. With the CT, we can build and realize the three-dimensional properties, both external and internal. We create a fingerprint and store the data to that fingerprint. When we know the internal properties, we can also optimize on value already at the log yard. We know what the final product will look like. We create the virtual boards and store that to the virtual board yard. If we, for some reason, want to re-optimize, we have all the data and we can re-optimize the pile out on the log yard. When the logs comes into the saw line, we identify the logs with the fingerprint. We have a match, and we now determine in which position the log is in. In this case, we need to rotate the log 89 degrees. After first breakdown, we scan once again in order to see, okay, did we do what we was expected to do? In this case, we find a deviation. We re-optimize all the virtual boards in order to have a good traceability throughout the process. Out in green sorting, we identify the boards. We add the properties that we now can scan. What was the green measurement? How was the surface? Did we get any saw step? And so on. We are following each and every board, from virtual board, throughout the process, through the drying, into the dry sorter or a planer line, to the final product. This is what we at MiCROTEC calls MiCROTEC Connect. We are connecting the whole chain from virtual board at the log yard to final product in the end of the process. This is a modular system that we can build. You can start small and then you can add on. But of course, the more you measure, the more you know, and the better decisions you can make. This system, of course, creates a huge amount of data. That is without any question. People, humans, even though we have some young, talented people here and some old, skilled people, we are not that good in processing this kind of amounts of data. We often find what we are looking for. MiCROTEC helps. We add AI, we add big data, and so on, in order to gain the advantages from the systems. Holding everything together is the system Mill Manager, where we can present, we can analyze, and we can monitoring how the system is working and how the process at the mill is working. But what's in it for the customer? Mill-wide value and recovery optimization. Optimizing on value, not on volume, value at the log yard, at log sorting. It's really, really valuable. We have seen huge increases in values from different customers. Cut on demand. when you know what the final product will be, because you know what's inside the log. You know where all the knots are, you know where the cracks are, you know where you have some fiber deviations, and so on and so on. Then we can choose in a much better way which products we should cut, and we can cut them when we have a demand. Also, new products, really easy and simple to simulate, and we have a really high accuracy even at the first batch. Gapless traceability. When we are tracing each and every piece through the process, from virtual board to final product, there are millions of different properties that we can measure and analyze. One easy and graspful thing is the green measure. If we now start to measure millions of boards at green mill, follow it to the dry mill, and then comparing this and see what we expected. Now we can push the green measure, but it's not all just board to board. We know from which log, from where in the log this board came, so we can also have variation in the green measurement. The mill manager, as I said before, holds everything together, gives us a tool to monitor and do analysis. The next point is a game changer. When we are tracking boards through the process and know what we are expecting it to be, we can find deviations and give warnings to that really, really early. If we have some troubles in a kiln, we will get maybe a little bit more distortion, or we will have not that good kilning result. The moisture content will vary a lot. We find that really early. Also, a little negative insight from the sawmilling industry. We are actually ruin values. It's not that pleasant to say, but in all steps, we are ruining some values. But if we know the maximum value in log sorting and trace the value throughout the chain, we also can put a number on where we are losing money most. Is it at the debarking? Is it at positioning the log into the saw line, or somewhere else? We have the figure, which gives it really easy to decide where to invest, where to put in maintenance work, and so on. MiCROTEC AI, connecting all the scanners at the mill. We reuse the information, send information back and forth in order to increase detection, accuracy of detection. We are also helping scanners from different places. With the CT, we know a lot. With that data, we can train also other scanners. This is not the future. This is reality at some of our customers. In France, we have Pifter. In Sweden, SCA. At Norra in Sweden as well. Norra just bought the second CT, which are really proving that they are having a fantastic result with the system. In the US, we have a system at Idaho that works complete. We have live demos here at Ligna. We have 2 booths one in hall 25 in the sawmill area, one in hall 27, secondary processing. Please come and look on real live demos. And there you can have a really thorough walkthrough as well. We are down in 12, but that you already know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lagerbom. So I have a question from the internet live chat audience. So he fully agrees to this concept and asks, what is the appropriate log diameter on walls from which this concept makes sense and can be applied?
It can be applied from very, very small logs up to 700 millimeter in diameter.
Okay, thank you. So any other questions from the audience? No. So thank you, Mr. Lagerbom.
Thank you. And thank you all.